T-bar tip. Designed to measure the width and length dimensions and ratios of the maxillary anterior teeth simultaneously. The incisal stop, identified by the platform projection, is used as the starting point of tip orientation and measurement from the incisal edge position. The instrument is color-coded for easy visualization with a preset width and length ratio of 78%. Each color-coded band on the horizontal arm corresponds to the same color-coded band on the vertical arm when placed on the tooth, ensuring that the tooth is proportional. The red bands show the most common height and width of the maxillary central incisor at 8.5 millimeters in width and 11 millimeters in length, respectively. The intermediate yellow bands illustrate the most common width and height of the canine at 7.5 and 9.5 millimeters. The blue bands show the most common width and height of the lateral incisor at 6.5 and 8.5 millimeters. Proportion gauge utility. Occasionally, clinicians may encounter small, large, and extra-large teeth. In such situations, the recommended measurements utilizing the central incisor as the starting reference point will move down one full band measurement both horizontally and vertically for small teeth, up one full band measurement for large teeth, and up two full band measurements for extra-large teeth. Inline tip is designed to independently measure tooth width using the short arm and tooth length using the long arm. The incisal guide, denoted by the black stripe, is used as the starting point of tip orientation and measurement from the incisal edge position. The inline tip functions the same way as the T-bar tip, except that the horizontal arm of the T-bar becomes the short arm of the inline tip. The vertical arm of both tips is identical. The inline tip is indicated in cases of anterior dental crowding where the length and width cannot be measured simultaneously using the T-bar tip. A particular color band on the short arm representing the width corresponds to the same color band on the long arm representing the length. Proportion gauge utility. Always start with the central incisor measurement first. Once the incisal edge position is determined, rest the incisal guide on the tip of the incisal edge of the tooth to be measured. For the central incisor, the length and width should be at the outer margin of the red band on the vertical and horizontal arms, respectively. This ensures that the tooth is in the correct proportion. Width and length discrepancies are evident if the corresponding color bands do not align. Lateral incisor measurements should be at the outer margin of the blue bands both horizontally and vertically. Canine measurements should be at the outer margin of the intermediate yellow bands between the blue and red bands. Using the short arm of the inline tip, align the tip perpendicular to the long axis of the tooth to measure the width. In the case of the central incisor, the width should align with the outer margin of the red band. Rotate the tip vertically and center the long arm of the tip parallel to the long axis of the tooth. Ensure that the incisal guide is positioned at the incisal edge. The length should be at the outer margin of the red band on the long arm. Lateral incisor measurement should be at the outer margin of the blue bands on both of the arms. Canine measurement should be at the outer margin of the intermediate yellow bands.